I want to thank everyone for coming out on short notice. Over the last couple of years, the York City Police Department and the Bureau of ATF and the York County District Attorney's Office have been involved in an ongoing investigations into the violent crime in the city of York. I know there are often times when people ask us what we were doing. We are working very hard behind the scenes, but there are often things that we cannot discuss. Early this morning, over 100 agents and local law enforcement officers came into the city of York to serve outstanding warrants on violent criminals that live within our city and operate within our city. We want to explain what took place today as best we can. This is an ongoing operation, and you'll hear this theme repeated over and over. But with me today is Special Agent in Charge Sam Ribaldi, from the Philadelphia Field Division, Mayor Kim Bracey, and District Attorney Tom Kearney, as well as other people that are standing behind me. But the persons that I mentioned will be speaking here briefly, explaining to you what we have been doing and where we kind of want to go from here. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that's up here. This has been a great partnership from the beginning. It's something that we know as a city that we cannot do on our own, and we need our federal and local partners to help us out to achieve the goal of making York as safe and the best city that it possibly can be. So I want to very much reach out and thank the Bureau of ATF and the District Attorney's Office for their assistance, and of course Mayor Bracey for her patience in knowing that a lot of things are going on behind the scenes while she had to take some shots from local people wanting to know what we were doing, and we just cannot discuss those things sometimes for operational reasons and for safety of our officers. So at this time, I would like to welcome Mayor Bracey to come up and speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone, and what a morning in the city of York it's been. It's good to see so many community partners out here, folks who are working in a grassroots level to help take back our community as well, too. We appreciate that partnership. As the Chief indicated, much work has been going on behind the scenes for a long time that could not be divulged for lots of reasons. So as mayor, as a city resident, city native, I appreciate your patience as we work to address a lot of the violence occurring in our community. We sincerely appreciate the partnership with all the law enforcement on this event that occurred this morning, especially the U.S. Department of Justice ATF Division and our District Attorney's Office. Without the ATF, we would not have been successful. I appreciate my police chief, Wes Kelly, and his leadership. I can't say enough about that, along with all the police personnel from the city of York. Many folks were out working early this morning, and I do sincerely appreciate all those guys that are surrounded around here. Again, to our residents, we don't take the violence in our city lightly at all and endeavor daily to rid our city of it. Criminals know that we will get you if this is the lifestyle that you choose. We're not sleeping on the job at all. So thank you all very much. Thank you for your patience, residents, and thank you for the partnerships.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Again, my name is Sam Ribaldi. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for ATF's Pennsylvania operations. Just want to make a brief statement that'll kind of highlight why the federal government is here to work with our partners from York. ATF, along with the York City Police Department, conducted an enforcement action at several locations today throughout the city, and it's related to a joint violent crime operation. The action occurred without any incident and is the result of an ongoing and continuing criminal investigation that is targeting violent gang members that are operating throughout this city as well as the surrounding communities. Gangs cause community devastation. They tear down a neighborhood's identity and they cause our citizens to live in fear. This joint operation today underscores ATF's continued commitment to disrupt and dismantle violent gangs that plague many of our communities. Together with our law enforcement partners, we will continue to target these violent predators, permanently remove them from our neighborhoods, and eliminate their reign of intimidation. Now, as some of you may be aware, we were here back in March with a series of arrests that targeted a number of gang members. We're here again today, and we will be back again to target any additional gang members who continue to intimidate and instill fear in our communities. The city can know that ATF will stand side by side with the York City Police Department and the York County District Attorney's Office to show that the streets and neighborhoods belong to the law-abiding citizens of York and not to gangbangers.
Good morning. My name is Tom Kearney, and I am District Attorney for the County of York. This is a great day for the City of York. All too often in law enforcement, the important work of police officers and prosecutors go unnoticed because of the day-to-day grind in building a large, multi-jurisdictional case such as this, and it takes place out of the public's eye. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is to be commended for the work they have done, as is the Police Department for the City of York. There was tremendous cooperation among these agencies in order to conduct what has taken place here today. Violent crime and drugs are breaking down the family unit all over the City of York, which is evident by the terribly destructive choices that young people have been making every time they sell a bag of heroin or pick up a gun and stick it in their waistband. Absolutely nothing positive grows from these choices. In fact, these poor choices create a community where people are afraid to go out at night, sit on their front step, or let their kids play on the sidewalk. While significant police efforts have led to these arrests, which have taken extremely violent people off the street, we as a community must work together to take back and make sure that gaps left by those arrested persons are not immediately filled by a new generation of violent offenders, that our children remain children. It is imperative that law enforcement, our churches, our government, and our community leaders come together to find ways to strengthen our most basic unit of society, the family, thereby creating a healthy and safe environment for our children to not just survive the day, but to thrive and become the leaders of tomorrow. I have noticed that members of this community have come together and are beginning to take back what is rightfully belongs to the City of York. That is our community. I laud those people who have done that, who are beginning that process. I hope that it continues. We here standing together will do what we can to enforce that obligation. We cannot arrest our way out of this, and because new people always take over. We have to stop it at its inception. That is beginning to be done. This is just a small piece of what I think this community needs to do. So kudos to those out there who are beginning the process of taking back this community. This community belongs to all of us, and we should do so. We will take questions. I was caution you that while the investigation is ongoing and the work is currently being done, at the time that we are here today, some of those questions may not be answered, but if members of the media who have questions, we will address them. Mr. Weinstock.
How many individuals have been taken into custody, and in what way were they a threat to the York County?
I believe the question is how many individuals have thus far been taken into custody, and the second part?
The second part is, in what way were these gang members a threat to the community?
In what way will these gang members a threat to the community? Okay, gentlemen.
You want to speak on this statement?
Yeah. It's kind of a two-part question, and we're going to handle it that way. What you see behind us, and we'll move it forward for everyone, are what we would consider today our lower-level criminals. These are people that, as of yet, have not reached the attention of our federal partners. The reason that their pictures are here today is because we arrested them on state charges. Some of them have been taken into custody. Others have not, and we'll explain who has and who has not. That's very important because we want to deal with this problem before it gets to the point that our federal partners and even us have to become involved. Gang members in general are a threat to our community. You've heard me discuss many times when we talk about the shootings in our community, they're targeted events. And that's very important for people to know that while a bullet doesn't have a name on it, the events that are taking place in the city are targeted to people that are engaged in activity that they really shouldn't be engaged in many times. That's not all the time, but many times. And those are the people that we're trying to get because it brings down our community. It causes dangers to the citizens that are trying to live and work here every day and lead their lives, the good people that live in our communities. Even though the violence is not targeted to them, again, a bullet doesn't have a name, a round can go through their window, through their car, and strike them. It becomes a danger to our city, and we need to remove them to protect the rest of the good citizens that are here.
Chief, could you link these individuals to the recent shootings in the city of York as well as the drug dealing on the streets of York?
Again, the investigation's ongoing. We're not prepared to discuss all those issues at this point. There'll be more information coming out in the future, and as Mr. Ribaldi said, this investigation doesn't stop here today. We have more things that are taking place. They will continue to be here, the ATF, when I say they, throughout the future, to make sure we're dealing with the problem thoroughly.
Chief, a question from the gentleman behind you from ATF. We understand from one of the calls we received this morning in Channel 8 that one of these raids occurred this morning in the 1700 block of Monroe Street in West York. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, there were enforcement operations throughout the city this morning, and I'll go back to your original question. There will be additional details to follow within the next couple of days where you will be able to get some more specific information about a sweeping federal indictment that charges multiple individuals with a variety of crimes, variety of violent crimes. Unfortunately, because the matter is still under seal and because we still have continuing operations as we speak, and going into tomorrow, we're not really at liberty to get into the specific aspects of that indictment. But there are individuals who are in custody who will be making appearances in federal court, and I'm certain information will be released at that point. I can't even get into the specific numbers, but I can tell you it's multiple individuals. And multiple individuals who are responsible for the vast majority of the violence that is occurring in this city.
Not hearing any other questions, so we want to thank you all for coming, and we'll have a safe York. Thank you.